Have you ever wondered why some individuals deliberately step back from the crowd? I'm not talking about misanthropes or people filled with malice. I'm talking about those who genuinely prefer smaller circles, quieter spaces, and minimal human contact, not out of hatred, but out of choice. These aren't broken people. They're not damaged goods. They're simply wired differently, and society has a hard time accepting that. So what drives someone to consciously reduce their human interactions? What makes a person look at a room full of people and think, "I'd rather be anywhere else"? The answer isn't simple, and it's certainly not one size fits all. Today, we're exploring 3 distinct profiles of people who distance themselves from others, and chances are, you might see yourself, or someone you know, reflected in these patterns. Let's dive in. First, we have the exhausted observer. These people don't avoid others because they've been hurt. They avoid them because human interaction drains them completely. Think of it like this. Every conversation, every social obligation, every group gathering requires energy. For most people, social interaction recharges their batteries. For the exhausted observer, it depletes them. They're not being rude when they decline invitations. They're being honest about their capacity. What makes this type different is that they don't necessarily dislike people. They might even enjoy individual conversations. But the constant demand for engagement, the expectation to always be on, the pressure to perform socially, it wears them down. Over time, they learn that protecting their energy means controlling their exposure. They become selective, strategic even, about who gets their time and attention. This isn't coldness, it's self-preservation. The world calls them aloof, standoffish, or antisocial. But really, they're just managing a resource that society doesn't acknowledge as finite, social energy. Next, we have the pattern recognizer. These individuals have spent years observing human behavior, and what they've seen has made them cautious. Unlike someone shaped by a single traumatic event, the pattern recognizer has collected data points over time. They've watched how people operate in groups, the subtle cruelty, the performative kindness, the way loyalty shifts based on convenience. They notice how conversations often lack substance, how relationships can be transactional, how people say one thing and do another. They see the contradictions everywhere. This isn't paranoia or bitterness, it's pattern recognition. And once you see these patterns clearly, it's hard to unsee them. The pattern recognizer doesn't hate people individually. They're frustrated by the predictability of human nature itself. They tire of watching the same cycles repeat, the gossip, the drama, the superficiality. So they step back. They observe from a distance. They engage only when necessary or when they find someone who breaks the pattern. And those rare individuals who do, they become cherished exceptions. Society sees this withdrawal as judgmental or superior. But it's neither. It's simply exhaustion from watching the same movie play out repeatedly with different actors. Finally, we have the authenticity seeker. This person craves depth in a world that rewards surface-level interaction. They don't hate people. They hate pretense. They're allergic to small talk, exhausted by social rituals that feel meaningless, and frustrated by conversations that go nowhere. What drives them away isn't humanity itself, but the masks people wear, the forced smiles, the polite lies, the endless game of saying what's expected rather than what's true. The authenticity seeker would rather have one genuine conversation than attend 10 social events filled with hollow pleasantries. They'd rather sit in silence with someone real than chatter endlessly with someone fake. This makes them seem difficult in social settings. They don't play along. They don't fake enthusiasm. They won't laugh at jokes they don't find funny or agree with opinions they find shallow. And because of this, they're often misunderstood. People think they're trying to be difficult or that they think they're better than everyone else. But really, they're just desperately searching for something real in a world that increasingly values performance over presence. So they retreat to spaces where authenticity is possible, usually alone, sometimes with one or two carefully chosen companions who understand them. What connects all three types is this. They're not running from people out of fear or hatred. They're protecting something valuable within themselves. The exhausted observer protects their energy. The pattern recognizer protects their peace of mind. The authenticity seeker protects their integrity. And here's what's important to understand. Choosing distance doesn't mean these people are lost or damaged. It means they've learned what works for them, even when it doesn't match society's expectations. The real question isn't, why do some people hate people? The better question is, why does society struggle so much with those who choose a different path? So, where do you fall? Are you one of these three types? Or do you see things differently entirely? Drop your thoughts below. I'm genuinely curious to hear your perspective. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more content that challenges conventional thinking. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is help people feel less alone in their choices.